This video is sponsored by Cricut. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we will be making over this free dresser with our Cricut machine to convert it into a more boho Scandinavian style dresser. I wanted to remove the existing finish on the top to make it more of a natural wood, but I quickly realized it was going to take too long to sand, so I brought out my 15-minute stripper instead and let it do most of the work for me. I let the thick layer of stripper do its thing while I removed the other drawers where I wanted to remove the existing finish as well. I will only be doing this to the top row of drawers. It is so satisfying when the stripper works as intended and the existing finish just slides right off of the first pass, am I right? I cleaned the top with some mineral spirits to deactivate the stripper and removed any leftover residue. While I waited on the 15 minutes to work on the drawer fronts, I moved on to removing these decorative wood pieces from the sides of the dresser. I came back and removed the old finish, followed by cleaning it up with some mineral spirits just like I did on the top. The center top drawer had a decorative wood flower I was not very fond of, so I removed that as well before removing the old finish off. I moved on to sanding the top and drawers using 180 grit and my orbital sander, and for the curved details and hard to reach areas I simply used my hand with the same sandpaper. I wanted to lighten up the wood, so I decided to do a 50-50 bleach solution. I simply sprayed it and let it dry. I cleaned everything else using some TSP substitute. I will not be keeping the original hardware for this piece, so I went ahead and removed it and kept it in my stockpile for future use. I had to sand down the sides of the dresser where we removed the decorative pieces because it did leave behind some splintering and some damage. After scuff sanding the rest of the drawer fronts, I decided to do another round of the bleach. Using some 2-part Bondo wood filler, I filled in the damaged areas that were caused from removing the decorative wood pieces. The rest of the drawer fronts had some minor dents and gouges that I filled with regular plastic wood filler. After sanding everything down and scuff sanding the base, I moved on to sanding with the 220 grit sanding sponge on the raw wood I bleached to help smooth it out. At last, we were finally ready to paint, and I used Melange paints in the color Tabacco Brown. I've had this in my stockpile since June, and I was just waiting for the right piece to use it on. The drawers that had the raw wood exposed, I wanted to make sure and get clean lines around the edges, so I taped them off using some green tape before painting them. I sanded with 320 grit between each coat and did a total of 3 to get full coverage. For the top coat, I decided to go for a matte finish with the water-based polyurethane varathane that I usually use. I did 2 coats and made sure to sand between each coat. It was finally time to do the more creative side of this furniture flip using my Cricut Smart cutting machine. The Cricut Explorer 3 can cut hundreds of materials including vinyl, veneer, to even leather. Cricut comes with a free software program for desktop and mobile called Design Space that allows you to choose from thousands of fonts, images, and projects you can cut. One of my favorite flips I've done to date is this matching set, and I wanted to recreate something similar, so I looked to them as my inspiration. In Design Space, I found a floral image I really liked, so I selected it and adjusted it to size to fit the smaller drawer fronts. I duplicated the image until I had 4 going across and grouped them together. I then duplicated the group and created 4 rows. Once my design was completed, I continued and let it know that I would be using the Smart material without a mat. For this specific project, I chose to use Smart permanent vinyl in a matte white color. As you can see, loading the Smart vinyl is super easy and convenient. Once you've let it know what material you will be using, it will prompt you to make sure you have the correct needle, and in this case we needed the fine point blade in clamp B. I moved on to let the machine measure the vinyl before cutting. Once the cutting was complete, before unloading the material, I went ahead and cut the vinyl off of the roll. All I had to do now was to weed or remove the excess material using my hands and a weeder to help lift it off. The Cricut machine even has a great storage space to keep all of your tools. The last step was to apply the transfer paper and then apply my design to the drawer fronts. Now that the new hardware is on the drawer fronts and the drawers are back on the dresser, let's remember what this dresser used to look like and what it looks like now. Thank y'all so much for watching. I'll see y'all next week. Bye.